welcome back. It is now time for my June TBR game. It's been a long old time since I've done my Scrabble TBR game. I think the last one was Scrabble and Southern Hemisphere Friend, and Mel from A Book for You named Mel picked my choices for me. So this month it is a Scrabble and TBR trail, and the lovely Kim at Expedition 2 Pages is going to roll 4 times on her TBR game for me so that it can pick my choices. She has 4 categories. One of the categories you can you can alter any of the categories, but I've decided to alter the one that's she normally does as STEM, and I've asked her to do it as ebook slash audio book because they're the ones that I end up pushing to the back to in place of physical books, and I've got loads on my Kindle and on BorrowBox and for NetGalley. Well, I've got 2 for NetGalley actually. And so, and I've got Scribd as well, so I thought I'd do it that way. You are currently resting on, that sketch game where you've got a pad and it's Velcro and the ball attaches to the Velcro. Well, you are currently resting on that, just so you know. So this month I'm going to pick 6 via Scrabble tiles, and then I will go off and try and find books in relation to those letters, and then I will pass over to Kim. Well, I won't pass over to Kim. I will link her video below for you to go and watch her video in order to see what she rolls for me. But I will insert what I think of the prompts that she sent, and then I'll find books for that as well. So let me do me 6 picks first. So we have E. I don't know if I've got many E books. Oh, another E. Do you know what, if I get all E's now, I'll have to go with it. N. L. D. And final one is, a blank, so I can pick whatever I want. Fantastic. Right, I will go now, find the books and bring them back to you. Right everyone, I'm back. I've just been through all of my books looking for books beginning with E, N, D and L, and then trying to find one of my own choice. So, sorry, I moved around a bit. You can see I've got some of the options that were here. So for the first E, I have decided to go for Evil Thing, which is by Serena Valentino. It's one of the Disney villains retellings. So obviously this is Cruella de Vil. My little girl loves 101 Dalmatians. She's obsessed with it, so I had to get this one. She says, nothing is as simple as black and white. You might think you know the tale of Cruella de Vil, that scene stealer, that monster, that evil thing, but think again. Before the car crash, the dog napping and the love affairs, there was another story, another Cruella. Told in her own words, this is the story of friendship, love and loss, mothers and daughters and revenge. So I'm excited for that one. It's not huge. It is 292 pages. Very doable. Yeah, looking forward to that one. For the next E, I picked 8 Pieces of Silver by Patrice Lawrence. Patrice came and did a talk for some of the school children at my local library over Zoom during lockdown. I was really impressed with her. She came across so well. This one's from the winner of the YA Book Prize and the Waterstones Book Prize. It says, Silver's door is open, my brain nudges me. She's not in there. All the time I've been hanging around and trying not to disturb her, she wasn't here at all. Bex and Silver live under the same roof, but they couldn't be less like sisters. Bex likes watching loud superhero movies, girls, and chatting to anyone and everyone. Silver likes privacy. Her bedroom is her oasis, and she has an unspoken rule that none of her family are allowed inside. But then Silver goes missing. Bex enters Silver's room and finds 8 clues about Silver's secret life. Can Bex piece the jigsaw together and find her before it's too late? I think that one sounds really interesting. Oh, and Patrice, I've got a signed booklet in there from Patrice as well, so I'm excited for that one. So they're my 2 E's. For N, I thought I would read my first Jeffrey Archer book. He was on my 21 for 21 book list. I've never read a Jeffrey Archer. I've got family members who are really keen on his books, so I thought I'd give it a go. My dad got me the second in this series he got it on behalf of my grandma for my birthday, not realising that there was one that came first. So I got this out from the library, Nothing Ventured. Let's see if it tells us a bit about it. This is not a detective story, this is a story about a detective. William Warwick has always wanted to be a detective and decides, much to his father's dismay, that rather than become a barrister like his father, Sir Julian Warwick QC, and his sister Grace, he will join London's Metropolitan Police Force. After graduating, gosh, I can't speak today. After graduating from university, William begins a career that will define his life. From his early months on the beat under the watchful eye of his first mentor, Constable Fred Yates, to his first high-stake case as a fledgling detective in Scotland Yard's Art and Antiques Unit. Oh, that reminds me a bit of White Collar. Investigating the theft of a priceless Rembrandt painting from the Fitzmorley Museum, he meets Beth Rainsford, a research assistant at the gallery who he falls hopelessly in love with, even as Beth guards a secret of her own that she's terrified will come to light. While William follows the trail of the missing masterpiece, he comes up against suave art collector Miles Faulkner and his brilliant lawyer, Booth Watson QC, who are willing to bend the law to breaking point to stay one step ahead of William. Meanwhile, Miles, Faulkner's wife, Christina, befriends William, but whose side is she really on? I love White Collar on Netflix. Me and Andy have watched the complete series through twice. This is involved in the art crime world, and so is White Collar. So this is so exciting. So yeah, if I love this, I know I've got the second one straight away. So yeah, Nothing Ventured by Jeffrey Archer. So that was N. For D, I've decided to carry on with one. If you remember, I think it was even before, no, at Christmas, I think I got my dad, what was it, for his birthday in December, I got him Adele of a Life by David Jason, and we were budgie reading it together, but my dad picks books up very sparingly every now and again, so I'm getting to the point where I'm never going to finish this and I'm going to forget what I've read. I probably have already, so I am, let's see, less than halfway, but I'm on page 123, so I've got about 180 pages left, and I need to get this done and get it off my list, because I'm starting to look at the book and get fed up of it being there and thinking, oh, I've still got that one to do, and I do love David Jason, so I don't want to feel like that. So I'm going to finish this one off. Yeah, it's cheating a little bit, but it's there, and there's still quite a bit to go. So Adele of a Life, that's for me D. And then for my L pick, I am going for Leap Year by Helen Russell. She's the same one who wrote The Year of Living Dangerously, and she also wrote Gone Viking, which I read for Denmark for Eurovisionathon. This one is a non-fiction, and my sister bought it me for my birthday off my wish list. It says, like many of us, Helen Russell suffers from chronic indecision and a fear of change. So she decides to give herself a year for an experiment to overhaul every area of her life using change theories from the worlds of business, psychology and neuroscience to become a lean, mean decision-making machine. From how to cope with changing work lives and evolving relationships to how we feel about our bodies, money and well-being, Helen uncovers the benefits of new beginnings, the secrets of decisive people, and what makes changes last. Packed with practical life lessons, Leap Year reveals how we can thrive when change is afoot and inject some freshness and a little magic if it's not. So there you go, that sounds interesting. So yeah, that's my L choice. For my blank space, I have decided to put in The Crown by Kira Cass. That is a buddy read that I'm doing with Becca and Chloe from Chloe Reads Books, and so that's the next in the series that we're going to. Actually, is that the last one altogether? I think it is. The Crown? Yeah, I believe it is. So yeah, definitely need to fit that in there. So now I am going to go and watch Kim's rolls for me, and then I am going to use her prompts to pick 4 books in relation to them. So I will let you know what I pick. I now know, just check out my big ears. That is another of the wanted posters for Sophie's Piglet's notes. They're all over the house. I now know what Kim has chosen for me. She has sent me the choices. So the first roll she did was to pick a fiction book that was published after 2020. Cheating a little bit with this one because I have 2 off NetGalley and I'm just going to pick around the time what I fancy. So there's one called The Lock-In. I will put the name of the author under here, I can't remember it now. That is about a group of housemates who are all hungover and get locked either in the basement or in the cellar, I can't remember, and it's how they all interact being stuck while hungover. And the other one is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. She wrote Beach Read and I give that 3 stars. This is the next one out. I think it's about 2 people who continuously have gone on different vacations together through the lifetime, and like this is the last chance to like remain friends or more than friends, I can't remember, but so that's another one. So they're both on NetGalley 2021 releases, so that fits with that prompt, and I'm just going to decide at the time which one I'm going to go for. They both need to be read by July, so that's a good option to at least get one of them finished. The next role landed on my section that I asked her to change from STEM. I asked her to change it to ebook or audiobook, and it was read the first book discussed in the newest booktube video. So I went onto my timeline, and the most recent video to come up was one by Clumsy Charlotte, who was one of the competitors for Eurovision-a-thon, so that was quite apt. And the first she did this video was talking about that it was Mother's Day coming up in Sweden, so she chose books that she would recommend to her mum, and the first one that came up was Becoming by Michelle Obama. So I was delighted because that's one that I've intended to read for a long time, and I am able to get that. That's available mid-June on BorrowBox. I wanted to listen to it because I've heard that's really good, the audiobook, and I can get access to it from something like the 6th of June or something like that, so that's perfect. So I made up with that choice. The next role was landed on free choice, and it was read a book set in Africa. Another perfect choice because I started reading the Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith, and I read the first one, and then I had the second one on my list for ages and never got round to it. It's set in Botswana in Africa, so I am going for Tears of the Giraffe by Alexander McCall Smith. So there you go for that one. And then the last one again landed on my section, which was read an audiobook or ebook. And this time the prompt was TBR jar. Now I haven't got a TBR jar, so what I did was I went on on my Kindle, and I had a list of books on there that I needed to read, and Audible and Scribd, and I gave all of the books on those lists a number. I think there was 46 or 47 to choose from. Sophie clicked on a button on a random number generator for me and got the number 13, and for number 13 it was The Newcomer by Fern Britton. If you remember, I'd been watching Fern's Reading by the Fireside videos on Facebook. I'm a bit behind on them now, but I've got them saved on my YouTube because I think it was HarperCollins were putting up an omnibus every Sunday. So what I'm going to do with I've bought The Newcomer off a Kindle offer for 99p. So what I'm going to do is listen to Fern read parts of The Newcomer on the Stories by the Fireside YouTube videos, and then when she finishes, because she only does about 10 chapters, something like that, once she's done that, then I'm going to carry on reading it for myself on my Kindle. So I'm delighted with that, because not only am I going to be able to finish a NetGalley arc, but I am also going to be reading a book that I've wanted to read for a long time, which is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I'm going to be carrying on with a series that I've meant to carry on with for a long time in the Alexander McCall Smith Number One Ladies Detective Agency series. And I'm going to be reading off my Kindle one of the books that I bought that I haven't read yet, which is The Newcomer by Fern Britton. So all in all, what a successful round of TBR Trail that was for me. I'm so glad I asked Kim to do this. And yeah, make sure you go and check her video out of her playing the game. and any future videos. And if you wanted to do some roles for you, she will most certainly do that. I think she's got a few planned out for the next few months, but yeah, she'll add you to the list. So thank you, Kim. I look forward to these, and I look forward to reading the 10 books that I've mentioned in this video. So look out for the wrap up at the end of June, and you can find out what I thought about them. All right, speak soon. Bye.